Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for doing this. Welcome to the Quest for the Round Table scenario for One of Us Will Die. One of Us Will Die is a social deduction role playing game in which one of the adventurers dies at the end. So, one of our players is aware that their character is going to die at the end, and it is up to the rest of us to figure out exactly who that's going to be. There also may or may not be a traitor in our ranks who will kill that person before they can arrive at that goal. But then again, they might not be here. So, just to start off, let's go around the table, introduce yourselves, and tell me who you're playing. Let's start with Danger.
Hi, I'm Danger, and I'm playing Jacob.
Oh, just for the audience, who is Jacob?
Jacob was has a mysterious air about him because after the war ended, he was suddenly lauded on Arthur's side of the war, when the whole time he seemed to have been on the other. In fact, there are some very dark things associated with him on the other side as an enemy. But as it turns out, he was playing spy all along.
Okay, so we've got Jacob, the former double agent. Mars, who will you be playing?
Hi. Hi, I am Mars, but commonly known as Dead Mother, or Dead Mother Plays in TTRPG spaces, and I will be playing. I regret now choosing a very long name, but where did oh no, it left the room. So I called myself a huge zip. Oh, did I say that? Huge dip pain in the neck. Um,
Ah,
We can insert a bleep there.
I heard a different pun.
huge dip pain in the
I
neck.
heard a different pun.
I heard a
Okay.
different
But
pun.
no,
A pun
what?
that belonged in Monty
What?
Python.
I'm sorry, guys. I did not mean to set the tone horribly. It's my speech.
He has
But,
a wife,
yes.
you know.
Just call me Hugh. I am but a religious servant of the Catholic Church, which is growing in power. And I was initially a servant who helped provide rations and essential to camps, to villages, especially after the war. There's a lot of like recovery efforts. But it's actually more of propaganda optics for the church to get on the king's good side, as you know, you want the Catholic Church to be the foremost religion in the country. And so there's also my desire to be that of a knight, so that it would mean more devotees will join the cause and, gain a foothold in the kingdom through knighthood. Yay, church! That's all I know.
Okay, Lance.
Hi, I'm Lance from the Greasy Snitches, yay! And I'm here to play Valens of the Red Blades. I am a soldier. I've fought in rebellions. I have scars to prove my mettle in battle. And my red blade identifies me as a soldier. There we go.
Okay. And lastly, Toby.
So, Toby of Tag Sessions. I am playing Andreas, the overworked, very young, war hating surgeon who has been pulled into this whole scenario because deep down he is deeply attached to Sir Valens, despite not being a knight. He refers to Valens as a knight because he sees him as his one true love, even if he's just another one of Valens' admirers. Andreas doesn't believe in the war, but thinks that if he can find a way to become a round table knight, maybe he can change it from within.
Okay. So you all have motivations for wanting to join King Arthur's illustrious Order of the Round Table. Just to set the scene for the audience, we are in the first century. King Arthur is in his 30s and he is king of the Britons. He has fought many wars to keep his power, as many lords and factions have gone against him after he pulled that sword from the stone. Currently, we are in a time of peace, but you have been approached by Sir Bedivere, who is a friend to all of you. You have been approached by Sir Bedivere for a quest. And according to him, there is a possible knighthood attached to that quest. But as the title says, one of you is not going to make it back. Or at least one of you won't. Okay. So, just to start the game, we begin in Sir Bedivere's castle. It is a rather unremarkable place, somewhere on the outskirts of Camelot, or rather the general area. And he stands in front of the three of you. And before he speaks, you all recognize each other. You've seen each other in court. Some of you have definitely heard of each other. Some of you have interacted with each other during the war. How? I leave that up to you. Maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. But Bedivere turns to the four of you and says, "You're probably wondering why I gathered you all here." Cliché line, but a useful one. But before he speaks, we move into a flashback. Sir Valens, it is a year ago. You are being pulled off the battlefield on a stretcher, and your forearm has been pierced by an arrow. It is still there, and it is very, very, very much stuck. The arrow made its way between your two bones and is now just completely stuck. As you lie there in the surgeon's tent, you are approached by the surgeon himself, Andreas.
I grasp my arm and I go, "Can you pull it out? Quickly."
I'm staring at Valens, my heart beating faster than I ever thought possible. It's you.
Can you pull out the arrow or not, man? I'm needed at the front.
I can't believe it's you. You're actually in front of me. You're talking to me. You notice me.
Is there any other surgeon available?
No. I got this. I reach for the arrow and at my first attempt to.
Ah!
Sorry. I'll try to be gentle. I'll. May I? I ask your permission to reach for your head.
Just do it.
I hold your head, press it against mine, cheek to cheek, and I whisper to you, "I'm sorry, this will really hurt, but it's the best way to deal with an arrow stuck this deep. Are you ready?"
I grit my teeth, squeeze my eyes, and wait for it to come.
In my mind, this is the moment. This is the best time to tell it. This is the best time you can finally confess. I'm gonna hurt you. And I snap the arrowhead in half as much as I can. With my fingers.
Ah!
No! You moved! I only got half of it out.
Just cover it. No.
but it's not supposed to work this way. It's not supposed to happen this way. I was supposed to tell you. I I reach down. I start bandaging the wound, and as a moment of may perhaps an attempt to say sorry, I kiss the bandage and look at you worriedly.
It'll do. It'll do. Help me up. I need to get back out.
Wrapping my arm around your shoulder, I press my face against yours and I whisper, "Please, please take care of yourself."
Uh, Thank you. I say, not
Va-
noticing.
Oh boy. Valence eventually does recover, but that bit of the arrow, is it him or her?
Her.
The arrow that is stuck in her arm is never removed. There will always be that bit of uh, wood sticking out of there, and
Ugh.
that will be a reminder of it ever since. Um,
A bit of the arrowhead, actually.
a bit of the a bit of
Yes. So there's a bit of
Oh.
metal that's stuck in her
Oh.
arm, and the other
Gnarly.
half
Used
is
it
with
to the
me,
flesh.
so they
Wait.
can form a heart.
Wow, that's great, great.
Oh my god!
I love it.
Okay, and it is in fact in your character sheet, Toby, that you kept the other piece
Yes.
as a reminder of the event. So
Yes. And
That's
and
you.
I wanted to try to hit the milestone. Is this is the point where we shared the milestone?
yes,
we
you
tried to hit?
can.
I tried to confess that I love the other, but failed miserably.
That is something that you did, and you hit that milestone.
Valen, Valen.
Oh my
I,
god!
do it again, do it again.
No.
Valen, did you
Somewhere.
hit the milestone? Milestone, Valen?
Oh, yeah, go. Sorry. Yes. That definitely, you tried.
Yeah, no, but did you try to hit a
Did you
milestone?
hit one?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
If you're not sure, it didn't happen. Okay, so Jacob, somewhere on the other side of the war, you are actually in Camelot. The information that you provided to the crown was crucial into winning that last battle. And you are about to meet the person who is giving you your orders. You are led to a chamber at the end of a large hallway, and you see a door with many locks. Do you knock?
Yes, I do.
You knock, and the voice inside calls you in. Yes, come in, please.
I enter pensively, uh, nervous to finally meet the person who gave me my orders.
You see a middle-aged man, bearded, robed, bespectacled, although you've never seen spectacles in your life, nor do you know what they are. But you know this man. His name is Merlin, a close friend of the king, and supposedly his closest advisor. And he says, "You've done well. You've done well, Jacob.
I've done well, but I don't think I've really done good, have I?
Well, I have told the king on many occasions that morality can be based on a certain perspective or a certain point of view. But Jacob, you need to understand what we're trying to build here is bigger than some of the lives we've lost. It's bigger than what we've had to give. This is We are trying to make a place where might is used for right, where the mighty exist to serve the innocent and to protect the weak. We are ushering in a new age of chivalry. And yes, you may not be proud of some of the things that you've had to do, but I can promise you, you're going to be proud of the things that come after.
Jacob fishes around in his pocket and he produces a little wooden knight, and he fidgets over it for a little bit, and stays quiet for a while, just takes it all in, what Merlin just said to him.
I understand that you have your misgivings, but please know, I only asked you to do what was necessary. And I understand you may aspire to knighthood, but the things that you did during the war, I need to ask you for the time being that should you meet him, you not let the king know.
When I walked over the corpses of the children that I had poisoned in Castle Briar, I had no aspirations of knighthood anymore. I just wanted to see the face of the man who had me do it.
You've heard rumors about this, Merlin. There are people who say that his father was an incubus, or that he has demonic blood, or that he practices evil magic. This is something that people both fear and revere depending on what faith you follow. He turns to you and he says, Jacob, I'll try to put in a good word for you with the king. You will come out of this.
I hope so. And he tosses the toy soldier in the flames.
If this were a movie, you'd see the camera slowly zoom in on that toy soldier. You'd see the knight on the horse start to turn black, the same way you felt that your heart has slowly been turning black as you committed these atrocities during the war to protect what people are saying is a new age of chivalry. As you leave Merlin's study, you bump into another contemporary, a colleague. You bump into another colleague, somebody who you relayed information to and with. You know him as Gareth. He's a young man around your age. And he, for most of the war, fought on the side of Camelot. But he was mostly on the receiving end of your information. And he was also the one feeding you information from the side of the king to sort of keep you safe. He bumps into you and he says, Jacob, it's nice to see you finally back on this side.
Not sure I'm welcome here, really. But it's nice to know I have some favor, some form of warm welcome in the low places of this kingdom.
He sighs and he tells you, "Listen, Jacob, what we did back there, it still haunts me in my dreams. I I think I just need to hear it from someone. Are we going to be okay?"
For a moment, Jacob looks off, like staring at a sconce on the wall, and then he looks back at Jacob, at Gareth, and there is no place for us in Arthur's chivalrous Camelot. You fool. We are the scorpions, the snakes, the poison. We may have bought this kingdom with lies and murder, but we are not welcome in its halls. And if you don't accept that, you'll never understand your place in the world. And I pat him on the shoulder, as if I had just given him good advice, and then walk away.
As you walk into the darkness, the scene fades and the camera moves back into the night that you threw into the fire, which is now turned into ash. Hughes. You are in a chapel. It's somewhere you've been all the time. The battle is over. You have won. And you recite into the screen, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." Continue.
So am I currently in a confession right now, or am I openly making a confession in front of the cross?
Yes, you're currently making a confession, but it's up to you what that confession is. These things are just, you're Catholic, so it's a formality,
Standard
like you
Catholic
gotta
guilt.
do it every few weeks.
Ah, yes. There's an utterance as his eyes lingered across. There's a pained expression on his face as it's like he's pouring his heart out unto the Lord. He says, "Forgive me, for in my moment of weakness, He trails off. He looks again at the cross and goes, "I had a crisis of faith. I doubted you when I prayed." And his mind kind of glazes over as he goes, "I was afraid, as most humans would. I forgot my fear for the Lord and was consumed by a different fear when the bandits..." He trails off as he goes, "All the rations, the goods for the village. I should not have spoken to this. I should not have opened my door. I should not have stopped. Now, because of this, the goods that would have cemented the church with the king, all gone. I do not know what to say to the kind of things of the face of the clergy. They said it was merely but an accident, but They have reported to the king that these rations would get to that village, but he exhales. Forgive me. I should have been braver. I should have known that you would have done something. I should not have ran.
The priest.
Pause. Do I declare a milestone in that moment?
Which one did you hit?
I narrated a flashback where I spectacularly failed at my one job.
Oh wow. Okay.
I hit one too.
Okay. So you've hit your Act 1 milestones, except Lance, you can still catch up. Okay, so Hughes, the priest nods and he says, the only thing the Lord wants for us is to succeed. Tell me, now that the war is over, what do you plan to do?
I must prove myself to the church that I am still a worthy servant, even with my spectacular failings.
And you are
There
my
is
child.
still a way for me. How? I fear I would not be allowed to serve, to bring the rations to the village, not after what happened. I ran. I left them.
Here. When the Lord closes one door, he opens a window. I will provide to you an opportunity. We've just received word that Sir Bedivere of the Court of Camelot is looking for a chaplain. We need you to serve him, learn from him, and if you can, possibly apply yourself in the court of the king. We've received word from some of our informants that the king is in danger. He has lent his ear to forces outside the goodwill of the Lord. It is said that even his trusted advisor is in league with demons. And it is up to us to save this kingdom. Can you do that for me, Hugh?
I will do it for the Lord, and I will do it for the church.
He absolves you of your sins. And you find yourself once again in the presence of Sir Bedivere. And the first thing he says, the moment these flashbacks end, is, we lost Excalibur. It's as if time stops, you know. It's not something you want to hear. But wait, it gets worse. You see, the king is about to address a council of lords. Lords from all over Britain are attending, and they are going to discuss treaties that will maintain the peace that we have secured here today. The king must not be seen without the symbol of his power. And I might have to add another detail. Leading this Council of Lords is none other than Sir Leo de Grasse himself. Or rather, King Leo de Grasse, after the war. And I'm quite embarrassed to say that we've also lost Guinevere. We have a king without the sword and without his queen. And his father in law is running the council.
The devil is hard at work.
The devil is indeed hard at work, and we are in trouble. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm coming to the four of you with this and why I am not approaching Sir Lancelot or, God forbid, Garwin or Galahad. And the reason for this is because the moment this mission gets entrusted to a renowned knight, the more people are going to start to talk. And the more people talk, and we have Lancelot asking around about a missing sword, everyone's going to put two and two together. Nobody is going to suspect a thing if I send 5 nobodies. This task has been entrusted to me, and because I cannot do it myself, I must now entrust it to the 4 of you. You will be accompanying a knight of little renown on this mission. He is rather young, but he has had no experience of battle. While he is your commanding officer and he outranks you on this mission, the 4 of you have more experience than him, so do with that information what you will. He scratches his brow. He's very frustrated. You can tell he's under a lot of stress.
Is there a reason this young knight is accompanying us?
Yes. 1, he needs the experience. 2, the 4 of you need the authority. If you need to get into anywhere or you need to speak to anyone, at least you'll have somebody with you with the proper documentations and sigils to allow you through.
Why am I here? I don't think you need a surgeon for this.
Well, the thing is, this knight, he's quite important. If anything should happen to him, I need my best surgeon with him while it happens. This is a quest. Anything can happen on a quest.
I glance at Valen. Anything can happen in a quest.
You must forgive me for my intrusion, sir. He nods. You do realize I am connected to the church. Do you not realize that the church might have the same mouths that will speak if one of their own were to join a traitor of the country? He side glances over at Jacob.
He turns to you and he says, Jacob was a double agent on behalf of the crown. If he betrayed anyone, it was the enemy. I trust him like I trust the rest of you.
Very well. I'm sure he has proven his loyalty time and time again. You will not fail the country this time. Side. Throw shade. Eyes.
Okay. Well, if there are no other questions,
Well, who is this knight accompanying us?
you'll find out.
Oh, surprise.
Well, that's not his name, but I will, he is staying at this tavern. I've asked him to expect the 4 of you. He, for lack of better phrasing, marks it on your map and sends you on your way.
And when we find the blade, what are we supposed to do with it?
Bring it back here immediately.
Another
Just-
intrusion, if I may.
The same thing
Head-
with the queen.
I turn to the priest.
How much time before the delegation? You say time is of the essence. How much time do we exactly have?
You have 3 days.
Ooh.
And will this night inform us of whatever leads we have as to where the Queen and the Sword are?
Well, we suspect that the Queen and the Sword have been taken by the same individual. Or group. Or rather, the same entity. There is a forest north of Camelot that people do not dare to tread. It is said that the place is cursed. But our informants have said that the last location of Queen Guinevere, or rather, the last people who saw her being led into that forest. The rest of the information is with your knight. He sent you on your way. So, you're in the tavern. And basically, you wait for this knight to approach you. What do each of you do while you're at the tavern?
I make sure everyone has something to eat and drink, but I make sure I serve Valen first.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thought it best we refresh ourselves before the long journey. At least the three of you look like you've been prepared for this. I hadn't even had time to shower or bathe, but work is work.
Work is work.
It's hardly work. It's babysitting some young knight who hasn't even seen war, who needs glory.
Well, I haven't seen war unless you count what I've seen from behind the front lines.
What front lines?
I was in the healing tents. I was tending to the wounded. I was never in the battlefield.
Don't sell yourself short. You did better work than most of us here.
I look at the supposed spy and I worry because I've heard things about you, and I'm very worried you're the one siding with me.
Oh, well, if you've seen battle from the tents, yes, you have better experience.
If you count patients demanding I stop tending to their wounds, then yes, I've seen battle. I think I turn to the priest. I think he's seen more battle than I have.
Yes, well, I believe there's a reason why we're all here. An impossible task that only God can get through. And we've been to many a battlefield, many camps. Those that are in need of food, shelter, noble work. I believe most of us here have done noble work. Side glances, Jacob.
They come
Most
to
of-
us, knights without title, without renown, for the most important things because they can't be embarrassed. And yet we are not afforded the same graces as the Knights of the Round Table. Stupid, but it's what it is.
Hugh, I have your name correctly, do I? We've met during the war. You were distributing goods and food to those nearby communities. Or am I mistaking you for someone else?
Oh, well, we probably encountered in the same camp. You were in the healing camps, and I was of the camps of the food, the rations.
There
yes.
were times I was asked to cross the lines in order to try to retrieve an injured knight or soldier who could not make their way back. I could only imagine the violence that happens beyond the line.
No,
lean
you cannot
closer to-
imagine the violence happening once you cross those lines.
You're right. I would be
Smell
a
of
fool to
shit.
think I would know better.
Blood. Those begging to die. Who do you choose to save? The ones that are still alive yet begging to die? Or the ones who don't know what state they're in?
Tense because of this exchange, I start fondling this small metal thing in my pocket.
Oh boy.
I just I'll find us something to eat, and I stand up and head away.
While this is happening, you notice, like, you, um,
You
no, no,
or
no, not
you
you.
you.
Who are you? I am you,
Which you?
Andreas. Andreas makes
Okay,
his way
okay,
towards the tavern keep,
okay.
and you notice a scuffle happening. You see a young man being pushed against the wall, um, by three guys who look like complete thugs. And the man is okay. He's clean. He has you can tell he's rather wealthy, and his hair looks like it's been conditioned, like he uses shampoo. And you see one of the men yell, "I swear, sir, you have been cheating." The the young man, who you place around maybe 16 to 18
Mhm.
years old, starts to say, "No, sir, I assure you, I haven't been cheating. It just so happens I'm very good at cards." They were like, nobody beats me 3 times in a row. Give me my money back." "No, please, sir. There is a way. There was a way we can resolve this." And you can tell that this guy is about to get beaten up for his money. Uh, this thug is a sore loser.
No one, no one I know. Just someone that catches my eye.
You do not know this man.
Okay. Um, Rather than dive in to help, I hurry back to the group. I think there's a group there that's starting a commotion. It might be best we settle it before things get worse. It might affect the meeting we're supposed to have here.
I draw my blade. And stand
I
up.
don't think we have to go that extreme.
Okay, the
Mr.
moment
Valen.
you draw your blade, the minstrels actually start seeing this happening, and they start playing a different song.
Record scratch, and then changes song.
Changes to Latin music.
The three turn around. The three turn around. The biggest one turns to you. He's at the center. He's flanked by these two other burly guys. And basically, he says, "Stay out of this!"
I pull out my other blade.
Hold it! I stand in front of Valen, more protecting Valen, despite
I'm
not
still
having a
sitting
weapon.
at the table carving a little toy knight from a piece of wood.
We are not alone, and I turn to the two others, motioning them to join us.
Yeah. Hi. Where are you holding Val?
I'm
Wait,
in front
where
of
are you
Valen.
holding Valen?
I'm just in front of Valen,
Okay,
blocking the
I kind of put my hand on the direction, like the first hand that hold the sword and you pull the other one. I hold it, like trying to put it down. He goes, "We need not get involved with these affairs. It is not the way of the Lord."
All right, Valens. This is entirely your decision. Do you heed the advice of your friends? Or do you save this sorry soul immediately the only way you know how?
I look at the three big guys and I go, "Alright, I'll let you get the first hit. Make it count."
At that point, I stand up and I stand between them all and I go like, "How about I buy the three of you a drink, I buy you a drink, and buy him a drink, and we all go to different parts of this tavern and just mind our own damn business."
One of the thugs looks you in the eye. He recognizes you. And then he goes, "I know you. Yeah. I know you. You're Jacob, the turncoat."
Not a turncoat, an agent of the crown.
Yeah, you were a turncoat to someone.
I need you to roll. Um, I need you to roll spirit. So basically, you roll. Okay, you roll 2 dice.
That's a 9.
It's a 3 and a 4.
Mhm.
No,
Do we add them or?
no, no.
Hoping for a
Okay.
5 or a 6.
You're hoping for a 5 or a 6.
Oh no.
By the way,
Oh.
do you have any proficiency in what you're doing?
Uh,
I do.
I have proficiency in deception, and I am trying to lie to them as we speak.
Okay, add one more die.
Okay.
Hopefully that lands on a 5 or a 6.
I have a question.
Yes.
There is a specific section in character questions of like a 1, 2, and 3. Is there a way to invoke that to benefit Jacob at the moment? Like I want to help him because like I do also have an ability that gives advantage.
Yes, you can. But I'm sorry, we went past that already. I should have asked you if you wanted to do that. But no, sadly, Jacob fails. The guy smirks, and he attempts to sucker punch Jacob.
Ooh.
The only person who can act right now is Valens, who is slightly between them.
So he's trying to sucker punch, or the sucker punch already happened?
He's trying. Let's say that you're a fighter, so like you kind of see things in the middle of the split second.
All right. As soon as he tries to sucker punch Jacob, I step in. Do you want me to roll first before describing what I do? Or-
You gotta describe what you do first, or what you are attempting to do.
Great. So as he sucker punches Valence, I step from behind. Not Valence. I step from behind Jacob, and as he moves in, I drive a dagger through his throat.
Okay, wow. Wow. Okay. Jesus.
Aggressive.
We've escalated a lot.
Wow.
All right, roll to kill him. That's body plus
Alright.
whatever proficiency you have that'll help you.
I have melee weaponry.
Okay.
I put down battle hardened and 2 body. Does that mean 4d6s?
Oh, you can only use one proficiency at a time, but
Oh,
yeah,
three
so that's
then.
3d6.
6
Badoom! Oh, that's a critical. That's a crit. So not only do you succeed, you get to narrate
Oh, lovely.
your success. Exactly how does it happen?
All right, so Jacob right in front, Valence right behind. The sucker punch comes. She weaves between and grabs the punching arm and drives the knife right here. Pulls it out. The blade now completely red, turning to the other 2, and goes, "Would you like to try again?
The
Or are
two
we
run
done with
immediately.
this?" Well, less drinks for you to buy, Jacob. That was a couple of milestones.
That's only one. You can only hit one in the first act, so you have to choose.
Right,
Which
right,
one
right.
is it?
Oh my
We're
god.
still in the first act, right?
Yes.
Well,
We're about to get into the
obviously,
second.
kill. I can do this all day.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I haven't mentioned which mine was.
What was yours?
Face and accept your mistake.
Ooh, damn. Okay, so while this happens, the young man moves back to his feet, brushes the dust off his body, turns to the 4 of you, and he says, "You're the 4 people Sir Bedivere said would meet me here."
You're the knight.
Yes,
Good God, you're the one we were supposed to meet.
yes, I am the knight of no renown. Yes.
Do you realize you've just gotten me and my friends into trouble because of this gambling thing you were doing?
It's fine. It's fine. All I did was win. I promise.
Sir Valen could have gotten hurt.
It was a fair game. It was. Listen.
I've seen worse things happen back home. This place is much more peaceful than what it was before.
By the way, I just we got off on the wrong foot. I need the four of you to know I'm very grateful that you're with me on this mission. I will try to be as good a commander and knight as I can be to all of you. And it is a very good pleasure to meet you all. He extends his hand for you to shake it, and he says, "My name is Mordred."
Huh. Pleasure
Uh,
to meet you as well. Then I turn to the spy.
the spy is actually squatting over the corpse, and he leaves a little toy knight on it.
Wow. Wow.
I look away from the spy. I'm not sure which bothers me more.
So, Mordred, how did you win the favor of the Knights of the Round Table if you are of no renown?
Well, it's quite an embarrassing story, really. Because it's weird. It's weird that you are all more experienced than him, but he gets to be a knight for some reason. Well, it's quite an embarrassing story, really. It's nepotism. The king is my uncle.
Oh, well, that explains everything. Then.
Yes, my mother told me that Arthur is a distant uncle of mine, and that I could make my fortune by arriving at his court. And, well, I was made into a knight, as you can see. The life I lead here is very much better than the one I led back at Orkney. My father and my brothers hated me very much. They said I didn't have the Orkney look about me.
They're not wrong, you know.
What?
Nothing. I did not say anything aloud.
Funnily enough, the more I look at you, the more I do see it.
Better to be around people who believe in
Mordred?
goodness, justice, and chivalry. He smiles and he says, "Well, shall we be on our way?"
You were supposed to give us information we needed to complete our task.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, what has Bedivere told you? You
Is
know
it
what is...
something we can discuss here in public?
I suppose not. Here, I'll tell you on the way. And then Act 1 ends. So, we approach Act 2, where Mordred is leading you towards the forest. This forest doesn't have a name, because it once had a name, and then people got afraid of speaking its name, and now everyone has forgotten its name. Mordred leads you there, and he says, "Okay, so now that you've told me everything that Sir Bedivere told you, I do want to add that, one, it's very possible that Guinevere was kidnapped. She's probably being made to use as leverage against my uncle, the king. And the sword, they're either keeping it for ransom, or somebody is trying to stake their claim on the throne. Either way, can't be good. If we fail on our mission, we are going to find ourselves in another war, which is not something I want. And I'm sure neither of you want it either. Knights shouldn't be fighting in a war. Knights should be riding around and helping people. That's what my uncle says it's supposed to be like, and I like that idea of knights."
I do too.
He smiles. "You see, I was trained by the best knight of the Round Table. I was trained by Lancelot himself, and he is just the absolute standard. Have you seen the man joust? Just absolutely completely the best. He would never betray our king.
So, how do you know all this?
Well, it's just the information I've been able to glean. People seeing it, peasants on the road saying they claim to have seen Guinevere on a cart that was being driven by somebody else that we couldn't see.
Somebody else that we couldn't see. Was she struggling? Bound?
Couldn't see. They assumed she was. The queen wouldn't be. The queen wouldn't willingly ride a cart and just be driven away from Camelot without the king's knowledge, so she must have been kidnapped.
And where are these witnesses now?
Well, they're alive if that's what you want to know, and I'd rather they stay that way. Knights aren't supposed to kill people.
That's their main job.
Well, if they can avoid it.
You sweet summer child. I did sign off the cross.
Eventually, you arrive what looks like to be this very large mass of trees. When you enter, it is rather dark. It's almost as if the shade of this forest has its own magical, mystical darkness to it.
Do any of you believe in the kind ones? I mean, there have always been stories that they live in forests such as these. I've read them in some books, and I've heard of stories of how people might enter a woods and never return.
I've heard the stories as well. Uh, in my village, the stories were that you were taken by the kind ones when you were good.
I heard similar things.
Wait, I'm sorry. Mordred says, I'm sorry. Well, why do we get rewarded by getting kidnapped if we're good?
Taken from the cruel world into something
Some
better.
some stories say that the kind ones were the angels that didn't take part in the battle against evil. Others say that they're dark spirits of the world. Do you think those things would have interest in our king and our queen?
I suppose not, but isn't he supposed to be ordained by God or something?
Well, you're the nephew, and it doesn't look like it passed on to you.
He just
I'm so sorry. I was not supposed to say that aloud. I turn away.
he just
Sleep.
he just he's trying not to say anything. You can
I-
tell
I-
it hurt him a lot.
I look at the surgeon with almost that look of like a teacher that's disappointed. that disappointed look. Unless you are ordained of God, you do not speak on God's behalf. Who are you to say that he is not chosen of God?
So is he?
It's like everyone looks at you. Even Mordred is like, is my uncle my God or not?
And I go, so are you positively sure that this is the way that you know the queen is this way?
Yes. This is the only path that goes in. I suppose this is the only path the cart could follow.
Is there a way we can check for tracks? And are you sure you know your way? Have you been to this forest before?
No, nobody's been in the forest before.
Oh,
But I know tracking. We do hunting in Orkney.
Perhaps, Father, you can consecrate the path before us?
Does anybody have any tracking skills?
Nope, not me.
Mordred attempts to do the tracking. Mordred says, "Ah, the tracks are right here, and it should be straight ahead along this road."
I give the look to the others. Do we trust this child?
You said he was
It's
ordained by
all
God.
I
I did.
He
I
specifically did not say he was ordained by God.
For the first time, I would actually agree with Jacob. Yes, I did not. I simply said we do not speak on behalf of God. We
Yep.
have to wait
We don't
for
have a
God.
choice right now unless God's about to show us the way. Might as well follow him.
Sir Valen, perhaps we should guard the rear. With the priest in the front, then perhaps God will bless us with protection.
D-
And who's going to protect the priest from any arrows?
I turn to the spy. I'm sure the master is more than capable to protect the front.
Find the back, the front, wherever. Let's get it on.
Okay.
uh,
As you move forward, you notice that the fog is getting thicker and thicker and thicker. As you make your way through the forest, you realize that visibility is getting shorter and shorter and shorter until it's only a few inches in front of your face. How do you make sure that your party members are still with you?
uh, I
Well,
I call to the names.
hold on to each other, quickly.
May I attempt an alchemy roll, one of my proficiencies?
Ooh.
I want to combine a few things into a jar and make like a little light.
Okay.
Witch!
That's good,
Witch!
but that's also witchcraft. So
Witch!
they can have
Do it.
their
Do it.
opinion of you. Okay, roll for
Mm,
alchemy. If you have a proficiency with that, then add one die.
Where's the river when you need one?
Oh, there we go. You succeed. Um, so you got it. You managed to do it. However, once
what?
you do, Jacob, when you light the area around yourself, you find yourself alone.
Oh,
Crap.
come on. Okay, calm.
As the
Strange.
three of you continue to walk on without Jacob, who you assume is at the front.
Yeah, I would. Is it possible? Is my way like not touching or anything? I would audibly quote scripture,
You would quote scripture.
particularly that of very aloud, so people are aware that I am there.
Yea, though I
I shall
walk
Okay.
be
through the valley of the shadow of death, stuff
yes,
like that.
yes. Psalm 23, the entire chapter.
Okay,
I would
you do
quote.
the entirety of Psalm 23.
The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He leadeth me to the path of very loudly
Nobody
that I
hears
make
you.
sure that everyone hears. No, I would just assume because I'm an assumer, so I would just keep quoting it and then keep moving. Like
Nobody
I
hears you.
believe that good. Oh, no one hears. No, it's
But
okay.
hey,
I
you
would. I'm
still
not.
recite it. You think they can hear you, but nobody
No,
hears you. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you that as the director, that nobody can hear you.
am, no, but am I? Is the character aware that they are not being heard? Is the question.
No,
Like,
you are not aware. You think they're still
okay,
around.
so I shall continue quoting scripture. I shall
Okay.
move from Psalms over to another book. Another, just
No,
comforting
you go
Psalm.
straight to go Exodus, Ten Commandments, and at the same time, Valence, you reach out because you want everyone to hold on together. You touch hands. You touch hands with Andreas.
Okay, I hold on to him, try to look for someone in front of me. And if
Oh
I don't,
goodness, you're still there. I was worried for a moment that I was
stay
alone.
close.
This almost reminds me of the time we were in the camp and it was terrifyingly cold. Do you remember that day?
No, not really. I pull out my
You
weapon.
don't remember? We
Well,
we we shared the bunk. It was too cold and there was no blanket, so we had to share our body heat. And
oh, that was you.
oh, I guess it wasn't as important as I thought.
No, 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 no. You see, I meet plenty of people in a war.
Of course, that makes total sense. There's no reason you would have remembered. I mean,
We survived that night. That's what's important.
I don't remember you from the war. It's not like
Yeah,
I remembered treating your arm or
that was you as well.
Father, are you up? Are you ahead of us?
Oh, that's where you don't hear him. Meanwhile, Father, you keep walking. You keep walking.
Yes.
And right ahead of you, you see the cart. You see the cart and the supplies, and you see the people you were with. They're on the ground. You don't know why it's here. It wasn't in this forest that you lost the cart, but here it is.
My blood runs cold. Is this a test? Lord, is this a test?
The silence answers back with silence.
I feel sweat, cold sweat running down as I approach. I am reminded of my failures, and I check. Are they're dead, aren't they?
Yes,
The people.
everyone is dead
Ugh.
except for one. You see one of the dead call out, "Are you there? Father, are you there?"
I'm here. I'm here.
You hear it call out, and when you look over to see who's calling out for help, you recognize that it is, in fact, the horse.
It speaks.
Father, did we go to heaven?
I do not think this is heaven. I believe this is purgatory and you need more prayers. I approach the horse. Is the horse wounded?
The horse is wounded, fatally. You know that this horse died, but somehow you find it alive in front of you, and it says, "Father, why did you lead us here, Father?"
I was only following the Lord's way. I fall to my knees and level with the steed.
"Is it the Lord's will that I die, Father?"
So I feel conflicted as goes. It is.
I
If
wanted
you
I wanted to be a war horse. I wanted to carry a knight. I thought that if I pulled enough carts, I'd be able to prove to them that I could carry a knight. Is it God's will that I will never carry a knight on my back?
perhaps not in this world, but perhaps the knight that is lost in purgatory. Find that knight and lead him to the path. I Is there a way I can calm the horse? Is there a way I can roll to calm the horse? Like, let it be at peace. It's in a lot of pain. Hush now, sweet dreams. This
Okay.
kind of scenario.
You can calm the horse down using spirit.
Yes. I have a proficiency in calming steeds, and
Oh, wow, that's very specific. I didn't know that.
I gave it the sheet. It's calming steeds specifically, so this is perfect. This is beautiful. It's my personal thing. I have a thing for horses, and the fact that it's talking to me, I don't find it weird because in my childhood,
Oh my
I'm
God.
I'm a horse. I'm a horse girl.
I
I'm a horse,
didn't know
I'm a
that. I'm
horse
so sorry.
boy. I'm a horse boy. um, and also, I would like to ask the character question. This was the time I almost gave up my responsibility. If any similar is encountered by this character, his dice will only succeed on a 6. So I want to declare that because it's very similar to praying to God after being taken by bandits when my carriage was raided.
Yes.
So I can only succeed on a 6.
Roll for it. Save that horse.
Please give me-
You got the 6. Well done. Okay.
I called it.
Now pray over the horse.
Even if it is but an animal, I give it its proper rights. I let him feel at peace in his passing. Give all the proper prayers. The mother of sorrows, mother of grief, and letting the angels guide him. A prayer for the angels to guide this horse through purgatory and to find its night, so it may be at peace.
The horse closes its eyes and it smiles, knowing that it is moving on to a better place. Though I wonder what Hughes is feeling, knowing that the Catholic Church teaches that animals do not go to heaven.
So, this is a fun story milestone because I did something self-indulgent. This is my own personal belief outside of the church doctrines that there is a soul in everything, especially horses, especially
That
horses
is
that speak.
that is the definition of what you were supposed to do.
I treat it like it had its own conscience. Do I now notice that there are others that I'm not with the others? Do I
It's okay.
notice?
You did it. You
Yeah.
fulfilled. You did what you were supposed to do.
Well,
It was a
but
very knightly thing.
though I will ask, in this reality, like as the horses, though do I realize now that I am no longer with the others?
Yes. I mean, they're not around.
I turn and look around, and I start shouting their names. Silence, sir. I forgot the sergeant's name. I'm so sorry. Sergeant,
Surgeon.
Sergeant, and Jacob,
You cannot find them.
Mordred.
At the same time, Jacob, you create your makeshift flare, yeah, flashes in front of you, and you find yourself standing in a graveyard.
I look at the
You
headstone.
recognize the place. A long time ago, during the war, you had to poison the water supply of a certain town. The reason you had to poison the water supply of that town is because you knew that or rather, you were told, but by a reliable source, that the people of this town were practicing witchcraft. And they were casting a spell that would curse the court of Camelot and bring the king and all his knights to ruin. With the entire town, with a lot of the town cooperating, you did not have the time to determine who or who wasn't involved in the plot. So the only option to save the entire castle was to take down the entire town.
I. This is a familiar place for me. I sit, uh, and I take out another wooden horse, but it's a little different from the rest of them. This one has a bit of blood on it, and I speak to it in this deafening silence where there's not even any wind, nor the rustle of leaves or the sound of animals. You were so small. Did you cast any spells? Were you a witch like them? Did you make deals with the devil? Or did you just drink the wrong water? I am in line for a knighthood. Such a funny thing. And I do not deny that my heart has greatly desired this. But I am a villain. I am the poison in the water. I am the sting in the ankle, and I am bloodied hands of this kingdom. I do not belong on the round table. And I crush the horse in my hands. It's a piece of wood, so it digs into my palm and it drips blood over the grave. And I drop the little pieces on top of it.
You notice the name on the grave, and it is Jacob. Jacob with a K. Is this a child who had the same name as you? Or is this a version of yourself that you lost doing what you did? And right as that happens, did you hit any milestones with that, by the way?
I did. Declare that you are the villain of this story and mean it.
God damn. Damn, okay. And right as that happens, out of the grave, an arm reaches out. You are being attacked by something from deep underground. This is something that is not alive. This is something that looks like it must have been human before, but no longer is. What are you gonna do?
I fling the little bottle of potion that I had in my hand, the light, to set it ablaze.
Okay. You set it ablaze, and then almost as if by magic, it lights the entire graveyard, which reveals all the other hands trying to climb out of their graves. Every person who has ever died because of you, or at least that's what you feel, starts to crawl out. And right as this happens, you hear a voice cry out from behind you, Jacob! Jacob, is that you? We got separated. It's me, Mordred.
I run towards the voice.
And immediately, as you run towards the voice, you see it. A corpse, a walking corpse, jumps out of the ground,
almost grabs at you, but immediately his head is pierced by the bolt of a crossbow. Uh, Mordred is holding the crossbow. Apparently, the boy can fight. At least shoot the crossbow. He says, "Are you all right? Your hand is bleeding. Have you been bitten or taken or it might be infected?"
It's nothing. I take out another vial, pour it over it, and then drink from the vial. Spirits?
No. I
And I'm
too young to
bandaging.
drink.
You're on a mission. You made your first kill. You deserve a drink.
I don't think it counts as a kill if it's already dead.
You saved my life then. You deserve a drink.
Very well, I'll take it, sir. He takes the bottle, he downs it, and he says, "My father would never do this for me."
Your father would do a lot of things that you would never think he would.
Mordred then leads you back along the path. Right as this happens, Valens and Andreas, you see Mordred and Jacob running your way. And behind them seem to be running corpses.
I draw my blade.
These are rotting corpses that are walking,
Rotting.
or these are just rotting corpses on a pile behind them?
Rotting corpses that are walking and running and shambling, depending on which muscles are still intact.
As Valens draws her sword, I rush forward to Mordred and Jacob, and I actually smack whoever's closest with on the shoulder. Look what you're doing! You're bringing danger to us!
Whoa! I didn't raise the dead.
I never said you did! I struggle to pull out my blade. I've never drawn my blade before.
And then Mordred draws his own blade, puts his crossbow on the back, and he says, "Well, there's 100 of them, and there's 4 of us.
Have either of you
we're
seen the
alive.
priest?
Amateurs. Where's the priest? I move past them.
Is the priest one of those?
I
No, I'm so sure not."
didn't see him. I'm doing the thing. Vials. Throw. Vials. Throw. Vials.
I
Vials.
turn towards Jacob and put a hand over him and say, "I'll hold them off. Run, but we'll need your vials if they can't. Not moving. And Andreas, move.
All
Right.
right.
Priest in a bit.
I grab Mordred, nephew of the king, can't leave him behind, and start pulling him ahead of me. But I, of course, still hit him on the head as I push him in front of me. This is your fault, isn't it?
So, I would like to coordinate with Jacob, basically. Na parang we'll hold them off, slowly, give the others chance to run, and then we start backing up. If Jacob's okay with that.
I do not follow the orders,
No worries.
but but it's like I'm trying to hold them off with her. Just making explosions, fire, and
Just don't hit me!
I have pretty good aim.
Alright.
Okay, so as this happens, there is fire, there are zombies, there are swords. You stand at a narrow passage that kind of funnels them in. The first 2 are about to approach you, Valens. What do you do?
Cut off the legs. They can't run without legs.
Good one. All right, roll for it.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, do you have an advantage for fighting as the soldier?
I've got proficiency with melee weaponry. That's it. I
Okay.
doubt the dead recognizes me. So,
Yeah.
so I have the proficiency in direct. Let's go.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Real quick questions. When can we use abilities? If ever to assist a character, when can we use those?
When you're there, you can't. You're not there.
Mm. Okay.
All right. So for
No
combat,
sixes.
damage is only dealt on. For combat, damage is only dealt on 6s. 2 5s count as a 6. You only got 1 5. So what you were able to do is you were able to keep the zombies where they are. They don't advance. You don't get hurt. But because they're in one place, that actually gives Jacob a good position to burn them. So do you do the same thing, Jacob?
Yes, I will continue throwing vials at them, smashing them with the bottles, and then setting fire to them.
Okay, I need you to make an attack roll to throw a vial at them. Apply any proficiencies that may apply.
You
Oh,
can
well,
only
just
apply
one.
one, right?
Just one. Yeah.
That!
Classic danger roll. Okay, 2 6s. That's a
Burn.
crit. You launch several of them from your hands onto them. Now that's a double 6. You get to narrate how that works.
Oh, I've only got one of these. Stand back a little bit.
What?
Some green smoke puffs out, and it's most horrible, acrid smell, and then suddenly the smell of bananas, and
Oh my god.
and then stop her right away, and then I throw it not at the zombies, but at the base of this one of the bases of this narrow space, and it causes a cave-in that blocks the path.
Okay. Well, not a cave in, more of a rock slide.
The rock slide, yeah.
You're not in a cave. But all right. You've held them up. They're gonna find a way around, but you have time. You follow to where Mordred and Andreas went. Meanwhile, Andreas, Mordred, you arrive at the priest who is sitting next to a dead horse.
Father Hugh, is that you?
Is that Hugh?
Is that you? It's and I look up and there's like relief on his face, and he goes, "The Lord surely answers." I slowly get up.
I rush to your side, still fumbling with my sword in one hand, but with my other hand I try to help you to your feet. There are things that have risen from the dead. Sir Valens and Jacob are fighting against it, but I think they might need our help. They might need you.
It is the demon's work.
You
Those
can
that must stay dead.
you can do something to them, can't you? You're chosen by God.
I will do what I can. God will work through me if He wills it.
And as we hurry, heading back where the others were, I mutter to you so that Mordred can hear. It's all his fault.
All right. But right as that happens, you hear the blast, you hear the rock slide, and sometime after, you see Jacob and Valens triumphantly running back to the two of you. But you also sense that they are not alone. The horde is behind them.
There's more?
Do we see past the fog now? Or is there still a fog?
The
Like,
fire
like
makes
cinematics
things
from
more visible.
invisible. Oh, like slowly looking up to see like the fog, and then there's like rock falling. There's like shadows of the horde and
Yeah.
back, and like you know,
Did the fire affect them? I asked Jacob.
It burns them, sure, but I bought us time.
What are you doing? Run!
Can you build a wall? Can you leave a wall of flame to block them and slow them?
Okay. From his back, big vial.
All right. In
Good.
order to assist you, you're going to have to use that cart as kindling.
Ooh.
Well, we don't have a horse. What's the point? Go.
I specifically take some in my mouth, and I have like a little
The flint.
flint
Is it
from my mouth
is it possible
in a line.
to use my ability
And,
here as a
and
way?
priest, I presume you're helping this time. Bless, do it better.
Yeah. Is it wait?
Yes.
Is it possible to use the ability this
Yes,
time?
you recite a
the
prayer over
act-
it. What do you say?
It's a realization that there is a reason for everything. God works in mysterious ways. There's a reason why He haunted me with this. The leaving of the carriage, the Raiden carriage, that I've left once before being of use again. I am becoming of use again and letting Jacob traitor be an instrument of God. I will grant him advantage to one roll if he makes it.
Another
All right.
alchemy roll.
Do the alchemy roll, but re-roll 2 failures.
Ooh, okay.
It is a
Is Danger gonna do it
So
again? He's
much
gonna do
already.
the thing that he does.
All right, reroll 2 failures then.
Re-roll the 5 and the 4. They might become
No, they didn't.
still 1-6. That's still a success. You manage to do it. The dead are held back. They begin to approach, but they are stopped by the fire. They fear the fire, but they're gonna break through eventually. That fire can only burn through so much, and you can only run so far. So, I need to ask, Hughes, how strong is your faith?
very strong, very substantial.
It's
You know,
time
he'll
to-
do anything for the truth.
It's time to test it.
Oh my god, in this moment, right now.
While you
you're
think about
facing-
that, some of them are breaking through. You see Mordred draw his sword and actually start to kick the first one that goes through back into the fire. He's been trained. He hasn't seen battle, but he's been trained, and he's actually quite brave.
Do I see any that's about to hit Sir Valens that Valens has not noticed?
But yeah, watch. There's a lot that are approaching.
Jacob, you got any more of that flammable liquid?
They're already on fire. The thing is that there's just too many of them, and they're not burning fast enough.
Oh, I haven't.
I turn to Andreas. Is his blade out already?
Yes. I'm just holding it wrong. I'm holding the blade downwards like it was a dagger.
Oh my god, it's the reverse grip.
Not intentionally. It's because I don't know better. But yes,
Yeah.
you see me holding the sword.
How far is Mordred?
Mordred is okay. Let's say that you are at the. Let's say that you are 3 meters away from the cart. Mordred is in front of the cart, literally fighting on the front line.
I will slowly move towards him.
And
You
you
know, just as a way, because I'm remembering the conversation about like him being ordained by God.
Mordred is
putting my-
fighting. Yeah,
But,
Mordred is fighting in full plate, and because he's in full plate, it makes sense for him to use a longsword without a shield because he's armored. And you see him declare as he fights these dead, "I am a knight of Camelot. In the name of King Arthur, you will not hurt my friends."
I grab Andreas's arm. Fix the blade.
Time moves slowly for me as I stare at
Properly.
you. Petals falling in the background as I stare at you holding my hand.
Actually, no. I just take the blade. I give you my blade. I give you my red blade, and I say every blade of black blade, but all blades are red once the job is done. I give you my blade, and I move towards battle.
And I yell at you, "I am your soldier, Sir Valen!" And I charge into battle as well.
I just
so
gain one
Titus-
destiny. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, go. You first.
No, I gain one destiny point for reciting my creed. And
Right.
You have 3. So me, I triggered my ability earlier because I did narrate the cold embrace. So my next roll, and surprisingly, this will be my next roll. I succeed on fours instead of fives.
Ooh.
Wow! Holy shit!
So yeah, the you holding my hand and giving your sword effective.
Go!
God damn.
um, what dice again do I roll?
Okay,
Six
so you,
D6.
yeah, you roll the d6s, same amount. If you have proficiency, you add a die to it.
Okay, I only have body, but I'm thinking I could use my um, sneaking around to get close as a proficiency where I get, I strike the things in the unexpected moments.
Yep, you can do that. It's a battle.
So I add one die, right? So that's
Yes, you add
3d6.
one die. 3d6 advantage 2. Yeah, because you've got the thing.
No, my effect was I succeed on fours instead of fives.
Oh, 4s instead of 5s.
Yeah, so I have
okay.
2 successes.
All right, you got 2 successes. That counts as 1/6, which means you actually managed to kill a few.
I kill every zombie that closes in on Valen that she wasn't looking at that moment.
Oh,
I'm
does she notice you
protecting
do
you.
it, though?
I am your sidekick.
Let's see,
I'm
let me
Robin.
roll for my attack.
I'm
This
Robin
be
for
your
Batman.
hero, baby.
Holy shit! I'm gonna need
Okay.
that hero.
No, she's
Oh.
injured.
I'm sorry. I just realized I also have the ability of advantage too. What did that mean?
Oh, that means you get the reroll failures.
Okay, wait. I'll reroll one die because
Yeah.
that gives me a 6. Then I can add a narration.
Yes.
No.
No, one of them manages to break through your defense. One of them gets through and slashes Valen with its very sharp nails.
Can I expand the destiny point and take that blow?
Yep. Oh, yes, you
Of course.
can. You
Of
can
course,
do that.
I'm the lover, even if I'm just one of the many.
Oh my god.
Shit! I'm so sorry.
Surveillance,
Jump
look
in
out!
front. She has to notice you now.
No!
And it's like I block it with my shoulder. So I'm looking at her when I'm
You see this happen? Okay, you're actually going to have to fight with your sword now, Jacob.
All right then. I pour some on the fire, and my sword,
On the sword?
and my sword alights, and I fight.
Oh.
And I know that means I'm probably the sword's not gonna last long. But
No, it's not. They haven't perfected steel yet. Amazing, he rolls like danger rolls. And
Wow.
you're lopping off heads. Apparently, you find out they cannot survive without their heads. So, the 4 of you are fighting valiantly, but while this is happening, it's almost as if they're endless. What are you going to do, Hughes?
Oh, in this moment, I mutter a prayer, and assuming I'm the priest, I do have a Bible with me, or one of the sacred scriptures somehow, if
yeah.
publishing is a thing here. It drops
But
to the
it's
ground.
like a, it's not
Book.
made by like a, it's not a book. They don't have
Yeah, it's more
the
paper.
printing press. It's kind of like you have this relic with a seal on it, and then it's like Warhammer, like the scroll that's waxed
Uh-huh.
onto it.
What? I will just declare, just like dramatic prayer, it drops to the ground, it rolls, it reveals the one specific scripture that locks in. It is that of Exodus. It says, "The Lord will fight for you. You only need to be still." I take that literally, and I tell everyone, "The Lord will fight for us. We only need to be still."
Do you listen?
We remain calm. We do not move, and let the Lord fight.
Oh my god! So do you
That's
guys
why you're
listen?
laughing at me.
I turn to Valence and hearing the priest yell out that, I tell Valence, whatever you do, I'll do.
Valence,
No pressure.
you are beset by a supernatural threat, and a priest tells you to be still.
I lower my sword. I'm not dropping it.
All right, lastly, Jacob,
Should I lower my sword?
you trust the priest.
I am holding a flask in one hand and lowering my sword with the other.
Yung umiiwas-iwas pa pag yun lumapit.
Okay, it's all on you. Roll spirit.
Can I put it? Can I use a destiny roll for this?
You can add a die to it. Yes. Oh, by the way, because you are invoking God against unholy monsters, your authority is recognized. So you get
Oh.
advantage too.
Oh, cool. So it's the church is the source of my authority.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool, cool. So saith the Lord, please maawa ka. Oh, do I add proficiency since I quoted scripture?
Yes.
See? See?
Oh, okay. You get to add a detail to it.
Make it point to Mordred.
Cool.
No, no, no.
Okay. Instead of the flames dying, the flames that Jacob made, it kind of become the tongues of flame, just like in the church. It hovers over our heads as a sign of protection, and there's like this bright light. It expands that it actually anything that isn't under the flames kind of like disintegrate. Like, that would be like the tongue flames, like axe, like in the Bible.
Beautiful. I like that.
Church
Yeah.
code. Let's go.
I'm going to add that the flames, they also lead you in a certain direction, almost as if guiding you. And at the end
Lord, what is it?
at the end of that path that the flames are guiding you to, you see another flame. But this time it's a campfire. And there's someone seated at it. Mordred rushes to the campfire, hoping that it's somebody who can help. And Mordred stops in his tracks. He turns to the four of you, giving you a look that almost says, "Do what I do. Do what I do right now." He gets on his knees and he genuflects.
Do we recognize who's in the campfire?
It's Guinevere. Act 3 is the climax. If you were the traitor, you can hit the third milestone and kill the mark when appropriate. If you were the mark, you hit the third milestone, narrate your death within the same scene. If you're the adventurer, if you've hit the third one, uh, reveal that you're the adventurer, identify who the mark is. If you are correct, you get to have your Blaze of
Destiny
Glory
points.
hero moment destiny points. You get 2 destiny points for a successful role
But
activation, by
what
the
what
way.
happens if the guess is wrong?
If the guess is wrong, that's it. You get 1 guess.
And then that helps the traitor.
Yes.
Oh my
Oh
god.
darn.
If the traitor
It helps.
exists.
Yeah, it's Jacob. It's Jacob the traitor.
But yes, if you get it wrong, it helps everyone else. But then again, you could be right. You arrive at the campfire, and the person tending to it immediately stands up. Wasn't expecting to be approached in the forest, and she said, "Stop! Who goes there?" And Mordred answers, "It is I, my queen, Sir Mordred, nephew to the king." And Guinevere just goes, "Oh, it's you." You don't have to. You don't have to roll for it. You can tell the queen. I don't know, has a opinion of this knight. So Gwen says, "Well,
If you're here, you might as well allow your companions to share some of the meat. I brought rations for myself. And Mordred's like, wait, you weren't kidnapped? And she was like, no, but I'm sorry that people thought I was. I honestly didn't want anyone to know I was out, the queen says. Turns to the rest of you and says, and who did you bring with you? She looks to the four of you. She's not looking at Mordred, so she's expecting the four of you to introduce yourselves.
I turn to Sir Valen as if bowing lower, parang she has to talk before I do.
Um, is Sir Bedivere asked us to accompany Sir Mordred, in finding you, my lady, your grace. Um,
Oh, please, it's just Guinevere here. Just don't tell anyone you called me that.
I do not believe I'll be telling anyone about this. Um, are you well, my lady?
Yes, I am well.
You are
I
safe?
Yes, I am safe. I came here pursuing the sword.
The sword's not with you.
No, it is not with me. I am not the one that took it. Somebody else did, and I pursued them.
Don't take this the wrong way, my lady, but why did you think you could pursue the sword?
She sighs. I am your queen. Whatever I say must not leave this. You must swear to me as your queen that nothing that is spoken about at this circle is mentioned to anyone ever again.
I, Valens of the Red Blades, swear to you up and down on every god, my queen, I will never speak of the situation ever again.
And the rest of you,
I glance at the others.
Um, yeah.
Uh,
I'm like, yeah.
of course, my queen, but a question, uh, an inquiry, if you may. How did you survive? Like the look of like shock never left the priest's face. We went through a horde. It was only but divine intervention that protected us and the Lord for us to get to you. How did you protect yourself from the hordes?
you can tell that when you ask her that question,
Independently.
she has this 1,000-yard stare in her eyes. And she says, I suppose we all encountered our own challenges when we entered this forest.
So the Lord gave you a different test.
You could say that.
But
it looks like she's about to
he has
cry just
kept you safe.
remembering what she must have seen.
But the Lord has kept you safe, and you have passed it just as we did.
That he has.
You have my word. We won't say anything.
The sword has been stolen by a figure we only know as the Red Knight. The Red Knight has not made away with just the sword, but he knows something terrible. He is in possession of a weapon that could destroy the kingdom if he is not stopped now. And the reason why I went on my own is because I couldn't trust anyone to do it for me.
Who is the Red Knight?
The Red Knight was knighted a year ago. He seemed nice at first, opted to keep his helmet on all the time, but he sounded dark, almost like he didn't believe in the cause, almost like his entire purpose of joining the Knights of the Round Table was to somehow destroy it from within.
And yet you let him join.
I'm not the one who decides who gets to join.
Um, Obviously, you haven't run into the Red Knight and haven't retrieved the sword. Where do we go from here?
Well, it's just that way further. She points, and you actually see it. Just over the horizon, you see the spires of an abandoned tower.
And out of curiosity, my queen, how did you plan to retrieve the sword?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't thought that far ahead.
Well,
I
we're
did
not.
plan to negotiate with him,
Oh,
offer him something, gold, favors, whatever. I'm I am the daughter of King Leo de Grasse after all.
your father is on his way.
Yes, he is, which means we need the sword right away. Can I entrust you to help me?
We are not knights of the Round Table, but we are what you have right now.
I trust you more than some knights. She says, not making eye contact with Mordred.
Chismis. Well then, that way you say.
Yes.
I turn to
Well,
Andreas, to Jacob,
a
and to
quick
the
word
priest.
though.
Shall we?
In a moment,
A quick inquiry to the queen.
I
Yes,
look at the
father.
father and nod. Parang you can go first.
You heard the rumors of the kingdom that our king has worked with the devil. You mentioned that you were not in charge of the knights. You have reason to believe this red knight is the devil himself, the cause of all this?
Guinevere sighs and she says, I know not of such things, and my husband's business is his own.
Well,
After all,
let us rid of this demon.
I have something to say. The young man steels himself, holding the sword properly now. You said earlier you are just Guinevere, not the queen. Then you will allow me to speak freely?
she gets a little bit uh what's the word? Alerted. Because you can tell she's kind of like at the edge of her seat right now. She's
How
really
dare
nervous.
you? How dare you let your husband rule this land without your words in it? How dare you let him choose a knight without your heart making a choice? You are equal to him. You are queen. You are the voice of the people. How dare you let your love mean nothing to him?
For some reason, that last line hits her really, really hard.
I exhale, take a step back, raise the red sword that I was given. I am Andreas. I am not of the red blades, but I will serve you because I hope you will serve us.
She nods. She takes your hand, holding the sword with you, making eye contact with you, and going, I, Queen Guinevere, daughter of Leo de Grasse, swear to you that by the time we get back, I will be a better queen than I was.
Tears in my face. I nod and then I turn to Sir Valen. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's quite all
Because
right.
another
And my sword, if you please.
I hand it back.
Thank you.
because another female touched his hands. All right. She leads you towards the spire.
Oh, you're
Well, it's
coming
not really.
with. She's coming with.
Yes, she is coming with.
Okay,
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
that's not dangerous at all. Sure.
Mordred turns to her and he says, "Um, my queen, I think it's best if you stay behind." And she was like, "No, I need to see this through to the end. I need to be there." She's very, very, very just firm on. She sounds very firm. As she leads you through, you arrive at a door. The door is locked, but you can tell that a locked door in the middle of an enchanted forest probably means somebody is trying to hide away or hide something away.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. I knock.
You knock?
It's a
Okay.
door.
Flash.
Tag, tag,
in
tag!
moment.
See, I told you she's a knight. We're all like just following her.
Bad idea, guys.
That's true. That's true. As you enter, as you knock, um, the door opens. The door opens for you,
Oh, okay.
but it
Step inside.
opens on its own.
Step inside, and I call upon the master of this tower, master of this castle. If ye be a knight of any honor, of any glory, I challenge thee to a fight. For we accuse you of theft. Answer me if you're not a coward.
Immediately, you see the suits of armor
Oh, great. Shit.
that are lining the halls. They grasp their spears, not halberds, haven't been invented yet. They grab their spears and they drop them. And they all look up a spiral staircase.
Is that an invitation or is that a threat?
I thought it
Mordred
was-
smiles and he says, "It's a challenge."
Well, shall we?
We started
He's
it
gonna make you
together.
come to him.
I make my way up.
You make your
I-
way up the back.
Are we allowed to follow or
Yes, yes, you do. Of course you do.
kala ko parang haharang sila pag more than one?
No, for some reason you're allowed to make your way all the way up. When you arrive at the top, you notice yourself arrive at a large archway. Across the archway is what appears to be, or what used to be, the hall of whichever lord used to own this tower. And seated at the end of it is a knight in red armor. And the knight calls out in a booming voice, "Who dared challenge me?"
It was I, Balance of the Red Blade.
You are not even a knight of the table.
And yet at this point, still more honorable than you, as I have never been accused of theft.
The knight stands up and slowly approaches you. You think you haven't stolen. You think you haven't stolen lives. You think you haven't stolen futures. You think that your actions do not have consequences that are the same as stealing.
You mistake me for somebody important. I am simply a blade pointed at the enemy.
Then you are no knight. He engages you in combat.
Ah, pota.
I need you to roll for combat.
So, like in the dramatic flair, if I go, like if the priest goes, "It is the Lord's will. We have come
Strike
this
now!"
far."
Well, you tell us to strike that moment.
yeah.
And
Yes, but you would.
Wow.
I assume you'd be calling them to gang up on the knight during a duel, which is. I mean, you could do that, but is it something your character would do?
No, okay, at least I know the concept of the surge now.
Yes,
At least.
that's how it
I'm sure
works.
what it is.
You know what? I hand Andreas my other blade and quickly whisper, "If I die, you know what to do."
I already know what to do. And I stare at her straight into her eyes. We are not knights. And I turn to the others. We can take him! He took our queen!
You know what? I'm not a knight. I stab what's his face.
Okay. Do you say it? Do you say it, Father Hughes?
Wait,
Feeling the empowerment of the surgeon and realizing we were all bathed in the tongues of God, only disciples of the Lord, those have been blessed by the Lord. It says, "This is the Lord's will. It is why knights were not brought here. It's meant to be a team effort. So it is the Lord's will." I give everybody a surge.
And I stare at Valen and I tell her, if to fight alongside you with your blade in my hand is the most intimate moment we shall ever have, then so be it. I am ready to die.
Well, if we survive this, we can try. Come on.
You don't understand, Sir Valen. I like you. Sorry, K-drama moment, but yes.
Again, if we survive, let's go.
Oh my God! Okay, you all surge forward. Mordred, realizing, crap! Oh no! And he charges forward as well. Gwen stands back. She's not a knight. She's not.
Yeah. Ma'am, anong ginagawa mo dito, ma'am?
Is it possible just in the back? I would join the queen as well, but I more or less quote scriptures
Okay.
to embolden this moment.
All right.
I merely guide them with the words from the Lord. He does not
You're in-
forget his promises.
You're in front. You're in front, Lance. So
Hells yeah.
yours is the first roll.
All right. 1-6.
It's okay. By the way, we rolled a 6 because
what's
attacks on the Red Knight are at a disadvantage 1.
Alrighty then.
You miss.
Yep.
And right as that happens, the knight swings his sword and gashes you across the chest. It's quite painful. Your armor protects your vital organs, but it hurts like. You take 1 HP, and because you've already taken 2 damage, you get an injury. That means you have disadvantage 1 in all body rolls. And it is now
Jacob?
Andreas's turn.
Yeah, but Jacob hasn't acted yet at all.
All right, Jacob. What are you gonna do?
I get it's a red bottle,
Red is the theme.
and I throw it at his face. And it's not anything fancy. It's just paint.
Ah, nice.
I just want to blind him, obscure his vision for his next move.
That's amazing. Go ahead.
Ooh. Oh no.
Re-roll the 6.
Oh no.
God, I'm not
I need to succeed on this.
Okay, you still get him. Boom! You essentially deal damage to his plot armor. You actually kind of blind him a bit. It's like ah, and then it actually allows for one of the blows from Sir Valens to uh, hit him. And the thing is, it's in his eyes, and he can't wipe it off because he's got a helmet. He has to take off the helmet, but before he does, Andreas gets to move.
This is not directly in service to the beloved, so the advantage doesn't kick in.
I mean, if you're trying to save them, yeah, it would be.
Okay, then I'll use spirit and body because I'm shutting down my mind. I'm letting my emotions guide me, so that's 5. But I'm also using sneaking around to be close.
So 6.
So while he was dealing with Valen and proudly deflecting her blows, as the paint hits him on the face, I'm behind him already. I don't care.
Okay, okay.
I don't care about being a knight. So that's 5 plus 1, that's 6. Wow, nothing. But then I have 2 advantage, so I can roll 2 of
you
them.
roll 2.
And then if any of them succeed, I have to reroll that one.
Ooh.
I have 1 success, but I'll reroll that one.
No.
It fails.
Oh my god! Wow! The knight, I mean, you try to get behind the knight, immediately he turns around, he elbows you in the face, you take 1 damage to your plot
Yeah.
armor. And while this is happening, Hughes, you are reciting scripture. While this is happening, you see Mordred and Valens just attempting to fight this guy, but this guy is just really good. It's like he's Darth Mauling it, like but with just 1 blade.
Oh.
And whichever blow actually hits him just bounces off his armor because this isn't a Hollywood movie. The armor is actually made in metal here. While this happens, you actually see Guinevere rushing towards his belongings. But you realize she's not searching the back of the throne. She's not searching the larger bags. No, she's searching the smaller bags. She's searching what appears to be a postman's bag. The magical sword is not going to be in that. But that's what she's looking for.
Ooh.
She's looking through the smaller bags.
I go to the queen and pull her away and go, "What are you doing?"
She turns to you and she says, "No, don't mind me. Focus on the knight."
I look at her and says, what are you looking for?"
An orb. I'm looking for an orb. Find it. Help me find it.
An orb?
An orb. It's a crystal ball the size of a skull. Do you help
Yes.
the queen, or do you help
Me-
your friends?
For me, it's heresy. She's asking for an orb in this moment while things are being fought.
Witch!
For a moment, I thought the queen was an ally to the throne, perhaps a friend. I decide against her decision and go, "The church, the faith will not allow this. May the Lord's righteous anger come upon me.
No, Sir Hughes.
For turning your back."
I'm not turning my back on anyone. It is this witchcraft I am trying to prevent.
And then I turn away. I opt for the milestone in which I decide against a friend of the kingdom in favor
that your
of my
third?
responsibility to the
Yes.
church. It is my third.
No, you're making a mistake. You need to help me. The kingdom is at stake.
You are defying the church, the very will of the Lord, by turning to witchcraft.
The church isn't going to have a kingdom to subjugate if we don't save it.
Not with this old. I turn. Oh, I. Is there a nearby weapon?
Yes, it's called Excalibur.
I grab it and I opt to stab the queen.
Roll for it. No,
Yes.
but she's not dead. But it's not her that blocks your blow. Immediately between you and her, you see Mordred. The moment you drew your sword, he rushed to her side. And
Oh,
he
boy.
tells you, I'm sorry, but I can't allow you to attack my aunt.
Okay, that's player. But the character is still in his righteous zealousness. Go. She wishes to use heresy. She goes against the will of God.
As this
She is
happens,
of witchcraft.
you see the knight just clawing at his face. He can't see. He moves back and he takes the helmet off. Jacob, you recognize him. You recognize him with his helmet off. It's Sir Gareth. He turns to you and he says, wasn't it you, Jacob, who said that we were the snakes, the poison, the killers?
We are the scorpions, the snakes, the poison.
Wasn't it you who told me that very day in front of Merlin's chambers the truth of this kingdom? The truth of what we built it on?
We may have bought this kingdom with lies and murder, but we are not welcome in its halls. And if you don't accept that, you'll never understand your place in the world. You fool! I rush at him, and this time black vials, and I tackle him. And as my hands go around him, they will the vials should smash together if I succeed. And I will use a
Roll.
destiny point on this.
Do it. Do it.
So a destiny point adds how many?
One die, right?
Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
A 6.
You succeed. In fact, you deal damage. What do those black vials do?
It ticks off my find something to live for.
Milestone?
Yes, and
What exactly do you have to live for? Why are you rushing this man who is still armed with a sword?
we're going to die together.
Ah!
Explode.
But
And
why?
because I am the mark. And this is how I choose to go out.
As you say this, for some reason, as you're about to break your vials, he turns to you and he says, I thought you'd be on my side. Why? Why now? You realize that by being the snakes and the poison, we have made the kingdom into a kingdom of snakes. The king himself, though unaware, is a killer himself. It's all a lie.
All men bloody their hands. Sometimes we bloody them for awful reasons, and sometimes we do them for good reasons. Our hands remain bloodied all the same. But what happens in the wake, that's still up to us.
You've deluded yourself. You've allowed the lies of the knights to fill your head. You're just like them. They're gonna make you into another bit of poison.
You fool. I am no knight.
You kill me now and you never will be.
I don't want to be.
Right as that happens, the blast blows both of your heart. You lie on the floor. You do not feel your legs. You are bleeding out. As the Red Knight says, "See how fragile your kingdom is. Your kingdom of lies has become. Mordred, look into the bag. Find that orb." And right as that happens, Guinevere finds what she's looking for. And as the knight lies on the ground dying, Mordred takes it from her, just out of sheer curiosity. And Guinevere turns to Mordred, and she starts to beg. "Mordred, don't! Mordred, I beg of you. The kingdom is at stake. Destroy it. Destroy that orb." And immediately, Mordred looks into it, and he sees something. He sees something that just shatters his will completely. He drops the orb. It falls to the ground. Mordred looks at those remaining, those still standing. And it looks like he's been looking into that thing for 5 hours, because his eyes are welling up. They are completely red. You don't know what he saw, but you know that his world has completely shattered. He rushes out, leaving the three of you with a laughing Red Knight slowly fading from life. And the spy, the traitor, having given himself up for the kingdom. Is there anything you say before you go, Jacob?
Like I said, we're the villains. We don't belong in the new kingdom. And he just one last breath, and his hand falls, and another little wooden horse in his hand with a knight on it.
The queen turns to Father Hughes and she says, "Well, the devilry's been destroyed. I suppose we just need to return the sword to the king."
I look cautiously at the orb, seeing the effects of it. I assume it's of uh,
It's just a pile of glass on the
the
ground.
devil's sword.
Ooh.
Oh, it's glass now. Oh, it's good.
It's just a
Okay.
pile of glass on the ground.
The boy, the knight, will need to be consoled by the church. He might have seen things that the devil showed him that might have marred his mind, much like that of the knight. I, I apologize for raising my blade to you, my queen. I realize perhaps the Lord is working its mysterious ways through you, trying to destroy the devil's work.
The queen nods. She forgives you. She understands.
Oh,
The camera slowly rises up, showing the remaining three of you and your journey back home. Eventually, sorry?
Before that, though,
Yep.
may we bury Jacob? He
Of
has
course.
proven- He has proven that he, like in his noble act, that he did care for the country, and by extension, the church. I give him his proper rights.
Okay.
I
You give him a Christian burial
yes, I do.
near the place where he died. And his last vial, you place it on top of its grave. Funnily enough, you don't know why he had it, but it's a vial with water in it. But growing in that water is a sprout. Maybe it'll grow into something more fruitful than the life he led. You go back, you meet Bedivere, you show him that you've gotten it. The Council of Lords goes off without a hitch. Leo de Grasse and Guinevere probably even share a dance at the ensuing ball. But eventually, the day comes. A week later, it happens. You find yourself in the court of King Arthur. You are surrounded by your contemporaries. The Knights of the Round Table draw their swords, not to fight, but to honor you. The three of you kneel before the king, and the king takes Excalibur, takes it out of its sheath, and he dubs you. First, he turns to Father Hughes, and he dubs you Sir Hughes, the faithful. He turns to Andreas. He looks at you. He dubs you Sir Andreas, the loyal. And turns to Valence, placing the sword on each one of her shoulders, and dubs her Sir Valence, the fierce. And as you are given your titles, he asks you, I never really was told what happened to the fourth one.
I would
What
like
happened to him?
spend the destiny point.
You spend the destiny point?
Yes. Is that okay?
Yes, go ahead. What do you add?
I pull out a sack and I lift out his head. Would you like to knight him too, my king?
Arthur, who is completely taken aback, but at the same time, he's friends with Merlin. So, this humor is not lost on him. Also, Sir Hughes, you should know that his grave was dug up. So,
Yeah. When did you dig that up?
It's been a week.
He's in
it's
shock.
been a week.
He's
It's been a week.
I will recreate it.
There. I'll have my hand out. There.
For the very first time in the history of Camelot, Arthur knights somebody posthumously. And in a loud and proud voice, he announces to the kingdom, Sir Jacob, the Redeemed.
I pull the head close to me and whisper, I was going to kill you, but I realized I agree with
Toby's the traitor, by the way.
you. Yes.
Yeah, figured.
Anyway,
Oh my god.
I'll
So-
I'll share this on in Discord. This was how earlier I was planning to announce it already.
oh boy, okay. Jacob,
But I held back because I kind of liked what he was doing.
yeah, it's fine, it's fine. It's in character, it's in character. Jacob, it's your epilogue. You do not have a future, but the kingdom and the knights do. So take it away, take us home.
Surveillance gives my head to the Knights of the Round Table, and it becomes a sort of reliquary in the Hall of the Honored.
Oh my god,
Nice.
okay. Very nice.
Like, eventually it just boiled down to the skull, just so it's not freaky, you know. And
We'll
Com-
get it decorated with little jewels.
yeah, and
Little vials. They're little vials of colored water.
continues to pursue. Actually, no. Continues to pursue surveillance, and and I feel like surveillance softens a little bit towards Sir Andreas. But it's never, never commits to a label or anything like that. But the attention is welcome to Sir Andreas. Am I saying Andreas right? Yeah, and Sir Andreas the Fierce comports herself with honor, training a new generation of knights and squires for the king, while Sir Hughes the Faithful tells stories of how redemption is possible even at the height of dishonor. And Arthur's kingdom sometimes flourishes, sometimes doesn't, sometimes does terrible things, sometimes does great things. But everyone here tries their best. And there it is.
And the credits roll. And after the credits, you see a castle in Orkney. The doors slam open, and a disheveled hair almost turned white from trauma. Mordred storms in, screaming for his mother, crying out, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me he was your..." And that's where it ends. Hello, that was it. Hi, I've been Titus. I made this game. I'm also facilitating this session. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, we're hearing the dead spirits.
Yeah. Danger?
This has been Danger playing Jacob, the Redeemed.
Denma.
Oh, this has been Morris, taking 10 other players who played Huge the Pain in the Neck.
Huge the pain in the neck.
That's not what we heard the first time.
It's not
Mhm.
what we
I said it right. I said it right now.
Hey, Lance.
Hi, this is Lance from the Greasy Snitches who played Surveillance. Thank you so much, Titus.
And Toby.
Toby here, who played Andreas, the failed traitor. He was moved by the sinner's action, so he decided to let him live, only to watch him kill himself. But yeah,
Oh,
thank
boy.
you for having me in this game.
If you like the game, a light version of the game is available on Twitch. And please follow us. We are trying to make this as big as we can get it. And hopefully we get it places. Thank you so much for watching.